we'll start with merge sort, right? So what is merge sort? So what we'll be studying? So we'll be studying the below things in this particular thing, right? So concept, then we'll see two things actually. One is merge sort, so which uses internally merge algorithm, right? And we'll understand the concept, we'll understand merge sort, so which where we'll see how to merge two arrays, and after that we'll see what is the time complexity, right? Time complexity. So when I say time complexity, we'll try to analyze the time complexity of merge algorithm, and after that we'll analyze the merge sort algorithm, right? So that is the agenda for today. So we'll understand what is merge sort concept, right? And when algorithm, right? So this means merge sort algorithm, right? So this means merge sort algorithm, right? This means merge algorithm, and then time complexity. So let's try to understand step by step. Let's understand how this merge sort works, right? So basically merge sort works in one principle, which is very important principle, which is known as divide and conquer, right? Let's understand what does this divide and conquer, right? So it works on a principle of divide and conquer. So we are studying a sorting algorithm, so which is merge sort again. That means given an array or a set of elements, you want to sort it, right? So some elements are given, you want to sort that particular elements. So what technique you are using? You are using the concept of dividing and conquer, right? That means I will go in detail. So a big array is given. So you will divide that big array into small some problems or small arrays, right? Till what time? Until it get into a certain period where you cannot divide it further, right? So that means given a bigger array, so the basic concept is you are applying a divide and conquer principle, where you will divide that particular array into sub small parts, right? We'll go with an example, but this is the concept. And once this array is being further subdivided into this, right, then you will start merging, right? So this will, you will merge, right? And once you merge, so this you will see, so this will be a sorted form, right? So this particular thing is known as merge, right? And again you will merge this, and finally you will merge and find the complete sorted output, right? Sorted one, right? So this is the principle or the idea or the concept of merge sort. So given a bigger array, you will divide into two parts, and you will recursively, we'll see, we'll recursively keep on dividing until unless we can further divide. So that means which stage? When we'll have only one element, right? Suppose like 10 5 5 10, something like that. Let me put it 10 5 2, suppose 4, right? Something like this. So this will be like 10 5. Okay, so this is 2 4, right? So this will be, you will finding somehow, you will find middle number, and middle element will go to the algorithm, but again you will divide it in two parts. One is 10 5, and suppose this is going to be 2 4, and now you cannot divide these elements, so then you will start merging. So while you will merge, you will merge it in a sorted form. This is going to be 5 10. So how we are going to work? We are going to look into this, but again this is going to be 2 4. Now once you try to merge these two, it will produce 2 4 5 10, right? So this is the sorted output. That means input array was a generic array with not sorted form, but after that if you see, it applied some divide and conquer. So divided recursively, we'll keep on dividing, and after that we'll apply the merging technique. After that we'll get the sorted form. So this is the concept of merge sort, so right? So this concept part we understood now how it works, but let's understand in details, right? Because it is not like as simple as I told, right? So how, what will be my algorithm? So how these steps exactly work? How to find out middle number, right? Which one to choose the left part? How you merged it, right? So how we merge these two part? So these are the question must be coming in your mind. So let's try to go back and understand it step by step, right? So let me erase this, because concept we are done. Now we'll be going in details of the merge sort. Let's take an example and understand. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take an example. Let's take some random example. So suppose I have 9 number of elements. Let's take a bigger example and try to convert that one into algorithm, right? Suppose I have some elements, right? Suppose, or else let me take 5 number of elements, right? Or maybe, yeah, 5 number of elements, 15, 5, 2, let me take 7, maybe that will be better. 10, suppose 20, then 7. Okay, 6 number of elements. That's also enough. Okay, or else 7 number, so that you will get one more idea actually. So that's why let's take 7, 8. So this is my given array. What is my objective? My objective is to apply merge sort so that I should get a sorted algorithm or sorted form of this particular array, right? So this is not obviously in sorted form, right? So you can see. So what the concept says, right? Like I already given you a brief introduction, right? So what the concept says, recursively keep on dividing, right? Recursively keep on dividing, right? Recursively keep on dividing, right? How? First of all, you will find the middle position, right? And left to middle you will treat as one part, and like in binary search, if you remember, so right, mid plus one to right, right? So that's what is going to be the right part, right? So which one is the middle in this particular example, right? So which one is the, suppose let me put the index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So that means how mid is going to be calculated. So suppose your mid is going to be low, so this is the low, you can say this is my low, this is my high. So mid is nothing but low plus high by 2, right? So this is the mid logic. We'll write down the algorithm, don't worry. So but this is how it will work, right? So low is equal, sorry, mid equal to low plus high by 2. So in this case, so in this particular instance, so low is how much? Low is 0, and high is how much? High is 6. So then mid is going to be how much? 0 plus 6 by 2, which is equal to 3, right? So this is how it will be calculated, right? So that means I got a mid at this position, right? Now 3 is my middle position. So my given array was there, I got the mid. So what I need to do, I need to recursively apply the merge sort, right? So I need to recursively apply the merge sort, right? On which part? This part, because I will keep on dividing, right? That's what we'll do. So for left part, we'll call again the same division principle recursively. So suppose the array name is ARR, or let me put it as ARR. So RNM. So merge sort ARR, comma. So from where to where? Low to mid. This is my mid, right? So one part will be this one, and one is mid plus one to high. So this one will be one part. This will be one part. So let me write it maybe here, right? So this is going to be my one part, 15, 5 to 10, and the right part is going to be like 27, 8. So 0 to or low to mid plus mid is one part. So this was low and this was mid, right? And this is my mid plus 1 to right high. So this is low to mid. Same thing I am doing. And again merge sort ARR mid plus 1 to high, right? So this is how it will work, right? So this is how it will work, right? So that means it will keep on dividing, right? It will keep on dividing. This is not the final algorithm, don't. So I'll write down the final algorithm. So this is just the building blocks of the algorithm, right? Then what I will do, so this is my now my this is considered as my new array, right? So this is considered as my new array, right? So I can say 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So this is going to be 4, 5, 6, and same thing you will keep on doing, right? Same thing you will keep on doing, right? So what you will do, right? So this is pretty straightforward. Again 3 by 2, right? So whenever it is like 3 by 2, so what you will do, so it is just like 3 by 2, right? So because it is going to be 0 plus 3 by 2, right? So what you will do, right? So whenever it is like 0 plus 3 by 2, so you can take it as like, so which one? Like second element or second index, okay? So which is like 2, right? 3 by 2, which is 1.5. So what 1.5? So whose upper bound is 2? Sorry, sorry, you take the lower bound. So you can take 1, right? So that means this index you can treat as mid. Okay. So now how your array will look like? So once you divide, right? So again you find the mid. So it is this one. So then what you can do? So 15 5, right? 15 5 as your lower part and 210 as your right part, right? So this is how the division has happened, right? So just try to understand. Again, if you will divide this, there is only one element. So what you will do? You will do only 15 as one part, 5 as one part, right? Second part. Then 2 is one part, 10 is one part, right? Try to see, right? So 10 as one part. So if you will put it, so 0 1 2 3, okay? So 0 1 2 3, okay? So that's how it will work, right? Right, for this one. So there are two elements, right? So there are two elements, so middle will be this one, right? So then you will keep on doing that, right? Right, so that's how it will keep on doing, right? So if it is three elements, so right here, right? So what you will do, again mid will be calculated. Mid is pretty straightforward, so this is going to be your mid, right? So then you will be taking as two parts, so like this. 27 and 8 is one part. 27 again you will divide 27, right? Okay, so now my division has completed, right? So now mods will be keep on calling, and this division has completed, right? So now let's try to see, right? So how this works, right? So let's try to see, right? Let's try to see. So if I'll call, right? Let me write down the recursive algorithm now, right? Let me completely write down. So after this, you will merge. So once the division is complete, you will merge it, right? You will merge. So you will merge what? Because you divided this array, mid and right? So you will merge what? You will pass the same array, right? ARR, right? Same list, and then low, mid, and upper bound, right? So again, once the low, mid, and high, right? So if you pass that, so how the merging will happen will go in details, but this will be my algorithm. So let me write it actually completely. So how the if we will write it down, so it is like merge sort. It is what are the inputs it is taking, right? So one is array and low and high, right? So that's what it is taking, ARR, low and high, right? So that's what it is taking, right? So how it works? So when left is less than, while left is less than right? So if low is less than high, right? High, keep on dividing, right? So keep find the mid one, right? So what you will do? Find the mid equal to low plus high by 2. Okay, so then again you need to recursively call the same thing, merge sort, right? So that's what we have already discussed, ARR, low, and mid. And second recursive call you will call on the right part, right? So this is one part, this is one part. So merge sort, ARR, mid plus 1. This is very important, right? This is very important. You have called till mid for left part, so right part you will be calling from mid plus 1 to high, right? So that's what we are going to algorithm, right? And once the division is completed, then you will call one more function, so which is merge. We have not discussed what is merge, but basically it will merge to array, right? So which array it will merge, right? It will contain left to mid and mid plus 1 to high, right? So that means this array and this array, or maybe here this array and this array, right? So how it will merge? So it will take how many parameters? It will take three more parameters, right? Three more parameters. So one is low, one is mid, and one is high. Why it takes three more parameter apart from the array? Because it will merge, right? It the main objective of this merge is to merge these two arrays. So if it is low, it is high, I don't need this index, so that's why I'm not taking this. Obviously I can calculate. If I know mid, definitely this is going to be mid plus 1 to high, right? So that's what we know. So that's why I don't need this mid plus 1. That's why if I pass only low, mid, and high, I can find out the two arrays. I know first array is from low to mid, second array is from mid plus 1 to high, right? So that's what I know, right? So that's why I don't need this particular parameter. So that's why if I have I'm passing only low, mid, and high, I'll be able to compute any given array. Suppose here if I know, right, suppose low is 0, mid is 3, then definitely I know the other element is going to be 4 to 6, right? So that's what I know. So that's why I can compute this. Okay. So this is the whole algorithm of the merge sort. I know I need to write the complete algorithm for this merge, but this is the algorithm for merge sort. Let's assume that merge is responsible to merge to array. Okay, so now this is my merge sort. Okay, so how it works, but I have not told, right? So how we will do merge, right? Once you divide it, so what you will do, you will keep on merging it, right? So you will keep on merging it. So how you will do the merging? Let me quickly do it. So you will let me merge it. Suppose so this is 5 and 15. So what merge will do when you are merging it, merge function will merge it in sorted form, right? So that's what I try to understand. So 5 is going to be here, 15 is going to be here, then 210 is going to be merged. So then it is going to be 210. Again, these two will be merged again, once again, right? So this is going to be 2, 5. I'll discuss how the merge works, but again, it is going to compare because it is merging two sorted array, right? So 2, 5, 10, 15, right? So that's what the output it will be. So this one will be merged to create 720, and again this 8 is going to be merged to give 7, 8, 20, right? So after that, finally these two will be merged, right? These two will be merged, right? So these two will be merged, yes. So these two will be merged, and final output is going to be 2, 5, 7, 10, 15. Okay, so this was 8, 8, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so this is going to be output, right? So this is how the merge sort works, right? Now the question is let me tell you the working principle, right? So how actually this works on this particular array, because I don't know if you have realized, but I'll draw a picture, right? So I'll draw a picture. So where, so whenever it comes to here, so low is how much? Low is 0 and high is like 8, right? So that means, so initially, so what is the merge sort I am calling? I'm just writing ms means just short form this merge sort. So I am just calling, first time I'm calling 0 comma which one, right? Sorry, arr. So this rs name is arr, right? Arr, then 0, and then which one? High is how much? 6, right? So that's what I'm calling, right? Right? So that's what I'm calling, right? Try to see how it works, right? So how it works. So what will happen, right? So whenever you are calling mod sort arr06, then it has first part is what? It will calculate the mid. Again, it will call this mod function, right? Sorry, mod sort function, but it will be called on array low and mid, right? So that means arr is going to be passed every time. So I am ignoring that. So mod sort 0 arr is going to be passed, obviously. Then it this time this is going to be 0 to 3, right? So left part is going to be 0 to 3, right? Right. So what about the right part? So right part is going to be mod sort array 7 to 6, sorry, 4 to 6, right? 4 to 6, that means 0 to 3, 4 to 6. You can see 0 mid array mid is how much you find, right? Mid is you find at 3, right? Once you find mid as 3, mid is 3, right? Mid is 3, right? Mid is 3, right? Mid is 3. So mid is 3 means low to mid. So low is, let me write it. So low equal to 0, mid is 3, high equal to 6, right? So that's what our this array is given, right? So then you find, then you will call on this, right? If you know recursion, so then first of all, actually it will not go to the right part. It will keep on continuing on, keep on calling the left part, left part. Once this is getting over, then it will go to the next part, because that is the concept of recursion. So first line it will call on this part, then again it will call two parts, right? Right. So mod sort, so this one will be called, right? So this one is called, now this is going to be mod sort 0 to 1. arr I am not writing, so that is fine. Arr is going to be passed every time. Okay, and the right part is going to be mod sort, so this part, right? So 2 to 3, right? 2 to 3 it is going to be passed, right? So that's how it will keep on doing, right? Merge sort. But again, so since it is a recursive, this will not get called until unless this is over, left part is completely over, the right part is not going to call, right? So for this one, again, it will be dividing into two parts. So 0 to 1, again it will divide into 0 and 1, right? So merge sort 0, merge sort 1, right? Once we got it, right? So now if we'll go to this merge sort 0, right? So if you'll see, right, let me put a border, right? So merge sort 0, so there is no subdivision, right? So if you'll see, so 0 is the 0, if you'll see call on the merge sort 0, right? So only one, whenever there is only one element is there, right? So that means low is no longer, because low and high both are same, right? After one element is remaining, right? So only one element is remaining, that means low and high both are going to be same element, right? So whenever there is, that means it will return, right? So whenever there is one element, so then it will be returned, right? So because this condition will not be satisfied, then it will be automatically returned from here, because low and high are not satisfying that particular condition, because we have only a single element. So that means it will start returning from here. So once it returns actually, so then this step is done, right? Because I called this function and it is done, then I will go to this function call, right? So that means this will call to here. This is step one. Once it is actually, so actually the how the function call will happen, this will call this will be called first time, this is the step one, again this will be the step two, then again it is going to be step three, and this is going to be step four. That means this is going to return to here. And once it is returning, then left part is completed for this array, the complete left part is done, right? So then I will go to for the right part. So this is merge sort 1, right? So that's what. So then it is also a single element, then it will return. That means this work is done, left part, and then right part is also done. Then I need to merge, right? So then I need to merge, right? So this is the important thing. Then what will happen? So this will, once this is done, so then this will call the merge function, right? So merge this 0 and 1, again 0, low and high, right? So that's what it will happen, and again it will merge, right? So this function we were just writing, right? So I hope you are understanding. So this is actually a return back function, and this is where this merge function is going to be called, right, on these two parameters, right? So that's how it will work. So then it will merge it, and again it will call for this one, again it will be merged, again all these things is going to be merged. So this is how it works, right? So I will just quickly recap. So this particular function calls, basically whenever you are writing a recursive function, so what happens, right? So what happens, right? So whenever you are writing a recursive function, if this is a recursive function, it will keep on calling until it is returning some value, right? So it will keep on left. For left part it will keep on going, so left here. If left is null, then it will return back and call for right, and right is also one value, that means left is low is not less than high, again it will return. So once it is returned, it will find another function. So this is done, then this is only the merging functionality. So once 0 is done, 1 is done, then it will do a merge operation. Once the merge is done, then it will be returned from the called function, that means it will be returning back to here, right? Then it will go to the right part, right? So the right part, again it will keep on doing the same thing. Okay, so this is the working principle of the merge sort. Okay, so this is the complete working principle of the merge sort. Similarly, you can expand these things, right? Same principle you can apply and expand, keep on expanding. So this one you can take as a homework, or you can take a big sheet and just try to draw, so that you will be able to figure it out which function call is getting called, right? So this is where you will draw. So this is the basic idea of the merge sort, right? So now we have two things remaining, actually three things. First of all, we need to understand how this merge works, right? We just told that okay, it will just merge it, but how it works, right? Just try to understand. Merge is always taking two sorted parameter, right? So this is 510. Suppose 5 is already sorted, because only one element means sorted element. 15 is also in sorted element, so it is just making another sorted form. So if you talk 2 is sorted, 10 is sorted, so 2 10, so again it is sorted form. So 5 15, so this is already in sorted. If you see 5 is less than 15, 2 is less than 10, that means this is already in sorted, this is already in sorted. So this is going to be the output array. So what it is doing actually, merge actually, so taking two, actually what it is doing, taking two sorted array, taking two sorted array and resulting this combined sorted array, right? So resulting the sorted array, right? So taking two sorted array, so that means it is taking two separate sorted array and it is combining and returning a sorted array. So that's what we will understand how it is doing in details. And again, we will understand the time complexity of this merge. And again, we'll analyze this particular thing, right? So we have not analyzed what is the time complexity of merge sort, right? So these are the things remaining, three things remaining. So one is that we'll understand so how this merge works, first of all, and then we'll try to find it, what is the time complexity of this merge algorithm, right? We'll write down the complete algorithm for merge, and then we'll understand the time complexity of merge. And once we find the time complexity of merge, then we'll calculate the time complexity of merge sort. Okay, so let's first understand merge, right? So what merge does, right? So if we'll carefully look into this example, so what this is already being done, these are the things is being done by using this divide rule, right? So you are calling this recursive function. So what is the main role of this merge function, right, in this particular diagram, right? So basically if you look into this, so this is merging any two sorted array at any point of time, right? So it is taking, this is low and this is suppose mid, and this is mid plus one high, right? So that's how it works, right? And it is going to merge, right? So the main objective of this to the merge function is, it is taking actually virtually it is taking two array, right? So one is low to mid. Okay, so virtually, but we are passing only mid, so because I can find out mid plus one and high, right? So high, right? So these are the two arrays being passed to merge. Okay, so then what happens, so merge is going to do a merging of these two array and is going to generate a sorted array, right? Sorted array, right? And remember, so this is also in sorted form, and this is also, this array is also in sorted form, right? So that means what does this merge function does, it takes two array, so not only two array, it takes two sorted array and merge them and generate a sorted array, right? So that's what it generates. Okay, so now our objective is to understand this like merging, right? So let me erase all these, let me see how this merge works, right? And this merge function is very important, right? So because so if you need the code, I will put it, give you, there is no worries, you can just let me know. If you need the codes for this, right, I can send let me know in case you need. But anyway, so this sort is going to be merge is going to be used in multiple applications also. Okay, so if we'll go for some programming kind of thing, this merge function is going to widely used. Okay, anyway, so what it does, it takes two, like I told, like we discussed, right? So it does like this. So what it does, so it takes two input, right? So one is this one sorted array one, right? So this is array number one, this is array two, and it will just keep on merging, right? So that's what the job of this one. But this is the sorted array, this is the sorted array. So this is my suppose 2 10 5 9, right? So that is my no, it is not possible. 2 5 9 10, right? So that is my one of the array, and then I need to merge it with some other array, suppose which is like 7, right? 7 12 15 20, some array like this. So what is my objective, I need to take this and again I need to merge this. So merge array should be like 2 5 7 9 10 12 15 20. So how it works, right? So we'll write down the complete algorithm, no need to worry. But before that, let's try to understand. So how can I do it, right? So if you'll ask, so I can do it easily by using two for loops, right? So we can put a inner for loop, I can do it. I'll just compare like we already know about the sorting of algorithm, right? So we have studied about the bubble sort or selection sort. So I can just put two for loops on this, right? So keep this constant and try to compare and then find the smallest one. Let's just put it here, right? So put it in a third array, right? So that's what you can do, right? So 2 will be compared to every element, and or else you will traverse every element once and try to find out who is the smallest one element and put it. Traverse once again, put it. So that means you need to put two for loops. So that's what you can do, and that time complexity is going to be order of n square, right? So if this is n, this is n, okay. So or else if it is m into n, then it is going to be mn, right? So that's what the time complexity is going to. We are not interested of that kind of solution because that will work for a generic array. If you take two generic array also, that is going to work. But we need to use one of the key feature, right? So what is that key feature? So this is sorted form and this is sorted form. So that particular given data set, we need to use some of the technique, right? So this is already in sorted form. This is not a normal array. If it is a normal array, then I don't have a choice. But this is a sorted array. This is also another sorted array, right? So that's why I can do it a little bit more optimal way rather than doing it order of mn. So if m is the size of this one and n is the size of this one, to putting two for loops, mn means two for loops, right? Instead of doing that, I can do a little optimization because this mn can be work for any generic array. If it is a generic array, then you can put it and do it. But this is a sorted form. This is a sorted form. So that's why I can little bit do more enhancement and apply this particular merge. So which is a little extensive way, or not extensive actually, a better way of doing this merging instead of time complexity order of mn. Okay, anyway, we'll go for the time complexity, how it works. But what it does, how it gets, so just try to see very carefully. So what it does, there are two pointers, right? So not pointers, so there are two arrays are there. So who is pointing? Suppose this is like any array a, b, or only one array is also fine. But then anyway, so there are two pointer. One is this is low. You can say this is mid plus one, right? So this is mid plus one, right? Or else you can rename it to something like low one, right? You can just put that variable and put it as low one. But anyway, so what you can say, right? Parallelly, just try to understand. Parallelly, you can look into this. If you'll think about this way, I'll ask you, tell me where is the smallest element present, right? So where is the smallest? Do I need to traverse all the array, all these array in order to find the smallest element? Answer is no. I don't need to. Why? Because smallest element must be present as at here or else here. Only if I compare these two element, whoever is smaller element, I can treat that one as a smallest element. I'll repeat this. Why? Because this is already in sorted form. That means the smallest element of this particular array or a sub array, I can say, is must be present in the beginning. The smallest element of this particular sub array must be present in the beginning. So if I somehow can compare who is the smallest between these two, then I see 2 is smallest, so that's why I'll just put it here. I don't need to search all the elements. So who is the smallest? Who is the smallest? Because this is already in sorted. I don't need to do it, right? So just try to see it. So I kept two pointers here and here, and I just compared it. And once I see that, okay, this is the smallest, that means the processing of this element is done. So I can move this pointer. Now I am at here, low. Okay. So now I'm at here. So what I will do, if you understand the step number one very carefully, then the step, all other steps are exactly the same thing. What you are doing, you want to find the next smallest element, right? Already the smallest element is gone, then definitely the next smallest element is either this one or this one, right? So that's why you will just find the smallest between these two and put it here. Okay, so now you will, whichever smallest you find, so then you will move this pointer. Now low is pointing to 9. Again, what you will do, again the same thing you are doing, right? So low is here 9, low one is 7, right? So that means definitely, so this is being processed, so definitely whoever is the smallest, that well I will copy it. 7 is the smallest, so I'll copy it, put it here, right? So once I put it here, this time this pointer is not going to be go ahead, right? Because I copied it from this array, right? So I'll move this particular low one pointer from here to here, right? Because this element is processed. So if you look into carefully, now the array is also keep on filling with sorted form, right? Right? Okay. So now what you will do, you will compare again low with low one. Again, you see that okay, 9 is the smallest one. Then you will put it here, right? 9 you will put it, and you will not change this particular pointer because we 12 we have not considered yet, so that's why I will not change that pointer. Rather I'll change this pointer. Low I will just again change from here to here. Again I'll compare this 10 to 12. 10 is the smallest, right? Now what will have, once this is smallest, now you'll move also. But now, so just try to see. So this is one step one, only one step. So just try to compare the pointer element, whoever is the smallest, put it and move that particular pointer. That is the step one. Step two is, now this particular low means this particular subarray is already completed, means all elements are completed. Do I need a comparison? Think about this. So there is no element present in this array. Then why should I compare it? Obviously this is in sorted form. So, and this array does not contain any element. So directly what I will do, if one of the sub array, either this array or this array is completed, then what I will do, I'll copy all other elements, right? All other elements into this particular array one by one. I don't need to compare it, just copy it. Low, whatever the value, copy it, copy it, copy it, right? Because I'll repeat that statement. So because this is already in sorted form, and this there is no element here because I copied all the elements. Same can go for different way. There should be some other elements present here and all the elements are over, right? So that's why I'll just do one thing. I'll just copy this 12, 15, 20, right? 12, 15, 20 as it is, right? As it is, because this is already in sorted form and there is no element in the sub array 1 which needs to be compared with this one, right? So that's how this particular merge works. So I'll just quickly say the algorithm and we'll write it also. So how it works, so we'll create an array, right? Or else you can modify that also, that is fine. But anyway, we are creating a new array. So we'll just try to put two pointers from here to here and just compare it. So whoever is smallest, like this is the smallest, copy it to here and move this pointer. Again compare, smallest, put it here. Again compare, right? Compare 7 is smallest, okay, put it here. Again compare, sorry, move it, right? So now compare who is the smallest. 9 is smallest, put it and move it. 10 is smallest, now put it, move it. Now try to compare, but if you are trying to compare, this does not contain an element or this has already exceeded the highest value, that means there is no element present here. That means I don't need to compare it with any other element. So let's, whatever the element are there from here, present here, just put it here, copy it one by one here, right? So that's the algorithm of merge, right? We'll write down this, but I will just tell the time complexity. Time complexity is this time, like earlier we were thinking it is going to be order of mn if the size of this is m and this is n, right? But this time it is going to be order of m plus n because we are just traversing this element and this element. So whoever is the maximum, that much of element we are just traversing. I'll just do one more time analysis whenever we write down the complete program or the algorithm. But the time complexity is going to be drastically reducing by using this technique. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's write down the algorithm of merge, right? So let's write down the algorithm, right? So this is how it works, but how the algorithm will look like, right? So like we had written already. So let's write down this, right? So merge. So how many arguments it is taking? It is taking 4 arguments, right? So because it is taking actually virtually 2 arrays, right? Like I told, this is low to mid, mid plus 1 to high. That means virtually it is taking 2 arrays and it is just jointing them and creating a uh, new sorted array, right? So it is taking 4 things: ARR, low, mid, and high, right? So now I am writing the algorithm. So this is done. So this is the merge sort algorithm. Now I'm writing the merge algorithm, right? So now how it will be, right? So what you are doing, right? So first of all, right? So you need some index, right? So first of all, what you need? So you need this one as low. So this is low is already there. So this is mid is okay. So this is mid is okay, right? So but this you can take as j, okay, or else you can put it as I and j, right? So two index you need to compare. So that's why you can use same low variable, that is not a problem, but I am just putting I equal to low. That means my I am pointing this one as I, this one I will put it as j. So this one means, so this was the mid, mid plus 1 is going to be j. That means j is going to be mid plus 1, right? Right? Any other things you need? Yes, you need one more variable. So which is like this array. So which will start from, initially this array is blank, right? So empty, right? So this will start from 0, right? This will start from 0, right? So that's why you need an index. So because you will take from either from here or from here, but where you will put it? You will put it in the 0th location. For that tracking purpose, you will take another variable, so which is like k, right? Okay, so this is the k. Okay, so this is the k variable where you will put it. Like if you will just compare this I and j, I'll repeat, I and j, whoever is smallest, just put it in k, and you will just increment the k and increment the I. Okay, so that's what you will do, right? So that means what you will do, so once your initialization is done, right? So what you need to do, you need to keep on continuing, because try to understand, we'll do it in two phase. First of all, comparison. So you will compare, and whoever is the smallest, you will keep on adding, right? But if once any of them is null, right, or any of them does not have more element, you don't need to compare, right? So you can just simply break and just copy these things to these things, right? So that's why there are two steps. So if you carefully see, first step is copy, compare and copy, right? Until any array is not null. That means any array is containing some element, right? So this is one thing. Second thing is that copy the remaining element, right? So this is these two steps, right? So let's write down, right? So what we are trying to say, so you will put a while loop here, right? While, right? So what you will see, if any time, so this particular any of the array is not going to be blank, or contains some element, right? So while I is less than equal to mid, let me write it down, and, right, that means, and this is very important, and j is less than equal to high, less than equal to. That means, so I is, if I is, this is mid, right? So this is my low, this is my low, this is my mid, this is mid plus 1, this is high, right? So that means I, if I is less than equal to mid, that means I is somewhere in between. If I goes here, then I don't need to continue this loop, right? Because if I is this, that means this array is over, right? So that's why if I is less than mid, that means I is somewhere in between, and j is also somewhere in between, that means j is less than high, j is starting from here somewhere in between, then you will do the sum step. What step we'll do, we'll just compare and we'll put it in the b, right? We'll just compare and put it in the this particular array, some array, or maybe it is output array, right? I'll put it in the output array. So what I will compare, if what you will compare these two element, right? This is the same array, again this is the same array, right? So this is the same array, arr, only the index is here and here, right? So arr of I, right? So you can consider less than equal to or whatever may be, right? So if this is less than equal to arr of j, right? So that means this element is sorted, small one, right? So this element is the smaller element, like this case. So let me erase this, right? So let me do it. Okay, now you are comparing this I is here, j is here, you are comparing these two elements. So this arr of I means this element is less than this arr of j. Yes, this is less than. So what you will do, you will copy this element from here to here, and you will move this pointer I from here to here, right? I plus plus, and k is also pointing to here, k was here, k will also be modified, right? So that's where, so what you will do, this is suppose output array, so output of k, right? K, this is very important, output of k you are putting, right, equal to which value you will put, arr of I, right? Arr of I element you will put, right? And which index you are going to do, right? So you are going to do I plus plus, right? Because this index you are going to increment, right? So this is from I to I plus plus, right? So this is what you are going, like means I is now pointing to here. Okay, so this is where, so this is this, you can put a loop, sorry, bracket here. So this is where the your if will be starting, and it is going to end it here. So now once it is done, so there is a else, right? So there is a else. So else means, what do you mean by else? Else means this element is not greater, right? So like if I am at here, okay, so I am at here, I is at here, this time j is greater, right? Because this time I is greater, that means it will go to the else, because this element is greater. So that time what will happen, you will copy this element, right, from here to here, right? Let me do it step by step. So I was here 5 will be compared to 7. So say again 5 is going to come here, now it is here, I is here, now a of I is greater, right? So that's why this element, so which element will be copied? Jth element, right? So that means output of k equal to arr of not I, j, then j plus plus, right? Then j plus plus, right? So j plus plus will happen. And one more thing, so once this is done, finally, so you are not doing k plus plus, you will do, right? Because whether I plus plus or j plus plus, whatever any element is coming, k plus plus. Either j will be plus plus in some case, j or I will be plus plus some case, j will be plus plus in some case, but k is going to be plus plus. That's why I'm making it in outside. You can put a k plus plus here, k plus plus here, right? So that is also fine. Okay, so this is done, right? So once it is done, right, so what else is remaining, right? So now we are in a stage, so where I copied all the elements, right? So that means, let me little bit make space, erase these. Okay, so what I did, so let's see. So what we did till now, so we created an array, so which is like output array, right? And I tried, this is my I, this is my j, I copied 2 here, then again I is going to be plus plus, I is here, then 5 and 7, 5 is smaller, so k is pointing to here, k is now here, so you kept 5, now I plus plus, I is here, now k is going to be here, now this is my j and 9, so 7, j is now less than, so j is going to come to here, j is going to be plus plus, k is going to be plus plus, then now I and j, so I is less, so that's why 9 will come into picture and I is going to be here, right? So now k is going to be here, 10 and 12 is going to compare, again 10 is smaller, so 10, again k is going to be incremented, I is going to be incremented. Now if you look into carefully, I is not less than, because all elements are complete, and I is now less than, not less than mid. Here I was here, that time it was mid, but now you did I plus plus. I plus plus means it is going out of the array. That means this array is completed. That means this array is completed. That means this our program will come out of this loop. Then what I need to do, I already told you, I don't need to again compare and all these things, right? I can directly copy from here to here. I will directly copy from here to here, right? So that's what this step I need to do, right? So that's what I need to do, right? But the question is how I will know, because in this example it is only the second array, okay, or means second part where the element is remaining, right? But it can happen that in the first array containing some more elements, so that could be copied. Then how could I know, right? I cannot know. That's why whenever I will write the program, I write generic. So how I'll write generic? If some elements are present here, right, then I'll copy it, or else if some elements are present here, then copy it, right? But how I'll know, right? So which element is having some element, right? So you need to write a condition, right? So you need to write a condition, right? So if I, right, so if I is greater than mid, so like in this example I is greater than mid, right? So I is greater than mid, right, because I came here, right, because I plus plus I came here. That means the element is not here, right? Element is here, right? If I is greater than mid, that means I is already, all the elements are copied from here, from this index I. So that means some element might be present here. That's why we will copy all the elements, right? So you will copy all the elements. So that means while j is, so what you will write? So while j is greater than mid, right? So j that means j is greater than j is greater than high, right? So j is greater than j is less than or equal to high, right? So j you will till go till high, that means j is going till this point. You will copy all the elements, you are going to copy to this particular output array, right? So then what you will do, now output of j, not j, output of k, right, equal to, so arr of which one, j, right? This is very important, arr of j, right? And which one you will do plus plus, again you will index this j plus plus, that means you will copy this 12 to here, and j plus plus and k plus plus, right? So that's what you will do, again copy 15 and j plus plus k plus plus, right? So j plus plus k plus plus, that's what you will do, right? So this while loop started here and ended here. Okay, so that's what you will do, right? So if there exists some element, right, some element in the right hand side, but that could go to the other, right? So it could be else, right? So that means some element might present in the left hand side, right? If some element are present in the left hand side, what you will do, again we will do the same thing, right? So it was like j is less than equal to high, but here it will be I is less than equal to mid, right? So that means you will put a while loop again, while I is less than equal to mid, right? So that means some element I, you will go till I is mid, right? So what you will do, you will copy to output, so you will copy to output, same thing you will write actually. So output of k is going to be arr of not j this time it is I, because you are this I index you are copying from here, right? And it was j plus plus k plus plus rather than I plus plus k plus plus, right? And this while loop is ended, and this while loop is ended here, this else is ended here, and obviously this while loop was already ended here, right? This merge will be ending here, end of merge. Okay, so that's all about the merge, right? So that is all about the merge algorithm, right? So if you will carefully see what is the time, okay, so this is all about the merge, right? So basically I will just quickly in one line I will just tell you. So what we are doing actually, two arrays given, right? Two arrays are given. So what will comparing and putting it in an array, right? So if any of the array is done, right? Suppose any of the array is completed, then all other elements we are just copying one by one by one, and pasting it in the new array. So that's what, if two array contains an element, we are comparing whichever is the smaller element, we are putting into the I output array, if it is j I or else j element, whichever is the smallest. Once any of the array element is or one of the array element is completed, so then we will come out of this while loop. If j array is still there, then we will copy the j array. If I array is still there, I will copy the I array. Okay, if j array is still j array is still there, then copy that, then copy. Okay, then copy, right? So this is for I array, same thing. Okay, so this is if both array, right? Both array contains element, any of the array contains element. Okay, so if any of the array is becoming null or blank, so then we'll come out of this loop. Okay, so this is how it works. So let's come to the two things. First thing is that time complexity of merge, already I had given you a hint, and time complexity of the merge sort. Okay, so these are the two things we need to discuss. Okay, so let's see what is the time complexity of merge, right? So the time complexity of merge is pretty straightforward, right? So if you look into this, so we are formulating an array. So suppose this array size is m and this is n, then this is going to be m plus n, right? In the case, so this, if your whole array size is n, right? So this was a smaller, right? Smaller entry of, actually you had a bigger array, right? Initially, like before merge, right? You had a bigger array, you divided and came into picture like this, and you are trying to combine these two. So anyway, so whatever the size of this m, whatever the size of this n, the size of this is going to be big of m plus n, right? Because if you'll see, there is only one loop, right? Because you are parallelly, you are moving the index parallelly. It is not a nested follow parallelly. That means in the worst case, what it can be? In the worst case, it can be m plus n, because suppose one element, all smaller elements, so you traverse all the elements here and copied one by one. Suppose it is containing like 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is also like 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, so what will happen? So this will be I2 will be copied 3, 4, 5. That means it is order of m. Again, you will copy this n, right? So that's why it is m plus n, right? Okay, so that is going to be order of m plus n, right? Anyway, so that is the time complexity of merge, right? So that is the time complexity of only merge, right? So this is going to be big of m plus n. Okay, so that is the time complexity of merge. Okay, but now the question is, what is the time complexity of merge sort, right? So the what is the time complexity of merge sort, right? So that's what we need to understand, right? So that's what we need to understand. So let me erase these things for now. So what is the time complexity of merge sort, right? So this is a, if you know, right? So I think we'll see. But anyway, so this is how the merge sort of is going to be calculated. Let me assume the merge sort of the time complexity of merge sort is going to be, right? So is going to be T of n, right? So T of n, that is the time complexity, that is the time complexity of the merge sort, right? So then what is the time complexity, right? So this is going to be, this is just doing a constant time, this is doing a constant time, or else maybe one time, right? So that's what it is doing, right? So some constant time, or maybe just work of one. But what is this one is doing, right? So this one is doing, this one is doing half of the work, whatever, suppose you, this given array is n, so this is going to do half of the work of merge sort, and this is going to do half of the work, right? So that means if the input size is n for this, so this is going to be, if the input size is n, that means n number of elements are present, this is going to be n by 2, and this is going to be n by 2, because this is applying for left part, this is applied for right part, right? So that's how it works. So that means time complexity of this one is going to be T of n by 2. So this is going to be T of n by 2. Okay. And this one merge, just now we discussed m plus n, right? But remember this. So whenever there is a bigger array, suppose the size of this particular bigger array is n, right? So we are dividing this and we are saying that this is m, this is n, right? But whenever you will merge, so what is this m plus n, right? So m plus n means, what is the size of this m plus n? M plus n is nothing but whatever was the original array, right? So original array, suppose size was n, right? Because we are assuming that that size of the given input array is n. So that's why this merge is going to take n time complexity, right? Because m plus n, right? So this is in the worst case, it is going to be n. That means original array, right? So that's what I'm checking the worst case time complexity. So what will happen? So this is your equation, this is your recurrence relation that is going to be formulated in order to compute the time complexity. So Tn is the time complexity. So this is going to be T of n by 2, T of n by 2, and n. And this is going to be 1, right? So 1 or constant, you can say, is taking the constant time. So if you'll write down the recurrence relation, so how it will look like? So Tn, right? So now if you write the equation, so this, the time complexity of the whole algorithm, so which is, I assume that Tn is nothing but Tn by 2 plus Tn by 2 plus n plus 1 you can treat it as constant, so that's why you can ignore. So Tn equal to, so T of n by 2, sorry, T of n by 2 plus T of n by 2 plus n. Okay, so you can write, if there is only one input, right? If n is greater than 0, right? So that's what I'm writing. So if it is like n is greater than 1, okay? So if n is greater than 1, if n equal to 1, so what will be? Only 1, right? If n equal to 1, that is one element is there, then there is nothing need to be processed, right? So only, no work, only done, right? So it will check that there is only one element, so then it will just calculate the mid and done, right? So that's why if input size is 1, that means only one element is there, then it will just find the mid and then it is done, merge. There is nothing going to merge it, right? Only one element, it is already in sorted form. So this is going to be a recurrence relation, right? So this is going to be a recurrence relation, right? This is going to be a recurrence relation, right? So if you solve this, right? So if you solve this, so this is going to be, again, the equation is going to be Tn equal to 2Tn by 2 plus n, right? So that's how it will the equation is going to be formulated, right? So if you'll try to solve this, right? Okay, so if you'll solve this, so if you know, so if you don't know, so then that is fine. So we'll see. So there is some other lectures are available for this, but anyway, so let me explain you. So how, what it says, so it falls into the master theorem, right? So master theorem says what? If any of the equation is in the form, right? If any of the equation is in the form Tn equal to a t n by b plus f of n, right? If any of the equation is in this form, then you can apply master theorem, right? So that means, so what is a in this example? What is a? A is 2, b is how much? 2. Then what you need to do, what master theorem says, let's compute n to the power log a b, right? So log a b, right? So log a base b, right? So log a b, right? So that's how you need to calculate. So how, if you calculate n to the power log 2 2, right? 2 2 means it is going to be 1, right? So if you know, so this is going to be n to the power 1, so which is n, right? N to the power 1, which is n. So that means once you compute, right, n to the power log ab, so which is n, right? So you will compare this one with the f of n, right? But which one is greater? You will try to see which one is greater. So you will see n to the power log ab is equal to n, so which is f of n, right? So this is equal to f of n. That's what we get the conclusion, right? So when you computed, I'll repeat this, but n to the power log ab, so which is n, n is going to be equal to n. That means case 2 of the master method is going to be applied, right? Case 2 says what? Then it is going to be uh, n log n, right? So n is the f of n into log n. F of n into log n is the answer, right? F of n into log n. That is going to be the answer. Tn equal to this. So what is f of n? So f of n is n, right? F of n is how much? N, right? So that means Tn equal to n log n, n log n. That is going to be the answer. I'll just quickly repeat. So this is what we are clear. So this is the time complexity. I got it by using this equation. But how I can solve it? I can solve it is using one method that is known as master method. So you can see other things, other videos also for in details, or you can ask also in case you don't know. That's fine. I can explain. So just let me know your comments. But anyway, so if any of the equation is in this form, a t n by b plus f of n, right? And yes, this is exactly in the same form. If it is in the form, then I can apply master method. Then what is the value of a? A is 2. What is the value of b? B is 2 again, because this is a, this is b, and f of n equal to n, right? So that is what. So now what I need to calculate. So what master method says, compute this entry, right? N to the power log ab. Okay, so in n, you know, n is as it is n. So ab, you know, 2 2 2 2 means log 2 base 2 is 1, so that's why n to the 1, which is n. So now once you find n to the power log ab, compare it with the f of n. F of n is how much? N. So you find that, okay, n to the power log ab, which is n, which equal to f of n. In this example, it is equal because this you find as n, which is equal to f of n. F of n is nothing but this n, right? So they are equal. So that means n to the power log ab equal to f of n. So in that case, what will be the answer? Tn equal to f of n. That is the case 2 of the master theorem, which says Tn equal to f of n into log of n. So f of n is how much? F of n is n. So n log n. So that's why the time complexity of master method is going to be n log n. So that is the time complexity of the master method. Okay. So that's how we covered, right? So we covered all aspect of like merge sort, cover the concept. So divide and conquer rule, it applies and all, and then it works on the concept of divide and conquer. So divide is going to be used using this recursive division using the merge sort, and the conquer or the combination is going to be happened by using an algorithm which is merge. So after that, we studied about the details about the merge algorithm. Merge algorithm works on a principle which combines two sorted array into one array. So which is going to time complexity order of m plus n if both the time is both the array is having size mn. So in our example, since we are taking a bigger array, so which is most of the time that is the input size is n, so that's why I treat it as a n time complexity. So that's why the mod sort will look like this, and the time complexity is going to be order of n. Okay, so if the bigger combination of two arrays is n, right? So that's why I treat it as n. So now this is my mod sort, the overall mod sort algorithm that we discussed. So the time complexity, if it is Tn, then this is the half part solving, right? So if this is the problem solving of whole part, this is half part, this is again half part. That's why this is T of n by 2, this is T of n by 2. This is already we know n. So that's why just add it. So Tn equal to Tn by 2 plus Tn plus 1 n. And if it is n is greater than 1, n is 1. So this is 1. So this is also, if you don't know, that is fine also, because this is just basic case. Then now this is my equation. This is my equation. I got it, final equation, right? So how to solve it? So there are different methods you can use, but one of the common well-known method is master method, and it is also falling into the same pattern of master method, which is Tn equal to a Tn by n by b plus f of n. So where a equal to b, a equal to 2, b equal to 2, f of n equal to n. So that's the master method is getting calculating the time complexity. It calculates n to the power log a b. So n to the power log a is 2, b is 2. So that's why log 2 2 2 2 log 2 2 is 2 base 2 is 1. You know, n to the power 1. So that is going to be n. So how it works, after you calculate n to the log AB, you compare n to the power log AB with f of n. So n to the power log AB, you got it as n, and f of n is n. That means they are equal. In this case, they are equal. If they are not equal, there are different situation. There are three cases, but this is equal, then it is going to fall into the case 2. Okay, so in that case, what is the time complexity? Is going to be f of n into log n. F of n means n. F of n means n. That's what we found from this equation for this example. So that's why this is going to be n. So n log n. So time complexity is T of n log n. That's all. So we'll talk about the quick sort in next. But yeah,